All right, everybody, what's going on? Happy Friday afternoon. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here. And let's take a look at the tropics going into the weekend. We've got these two systems to watch. We'll look at the models that are coming up, and I'll touch briefly on the weekend forecast just because of the rain chances. But let's get it started. So off the top, two systems that we're watching right now. You can see those two right here, right? Small chance for development, 20 to 30%, especially for the second wave. That doesn't include the one in the middle. Second thing, we need to watch the Western Gulf of Mexico. We need the Gulf of Mexico as we get into the end of next week, Thursday, Friday, into the weekend, which is Labor Day weekend, by the way. Thirdly, we do need to watch the European model, which is trying to suggest that we've got a system coming up towards Puerto Rico and eastern Cuba towards next weekend as well, too. And that's something that could be in the area that would perhaps have an effect on us way too far out in time, but just want to show you that as we look at the model comparison, see what they've been doing over the last several days. And then locally, some pretty decent rain chances for Saturday in the morning, the first half of the day through about 1 o'clock for the coastal areas. So it's going to seem kind of rainy the first half of the day. The second half should be good. Inland's going to be opposite, better chance in the afternoon. Sunday, we kind of flip that. Dry along the coast in the morning, first half of the day, late day showers and storms. That's it. That's off the top. Let's get over here now and talk about the tropics. So Hurricane Center now up to about a 10 to 30% chance for development on our wave that's out there in the far eastern Atlantic. You can see 0 to 20% chance of the one that's in the eastern Caribbean. However, you can see the area where it thinks it may actually be developing. And that's just a 20% chance, but notice how low that hatched area is. We're talking over here south of Cuba. You see that? That's not up here close to us. That's pretty far south, and so that means that it would likely end up going further off towards the west. The second one, and we're not talking about this blob that looks better than anything else. We're talking about this blob off the Cape Verde Islands here. That has about a 10 to 30% chance for development. So let's go into the Caribbean first, and I mean, look, I can show you this. There's not a whole lot to show you what's here. Literally, what they're referring to is this right here. There was a weak circulation, but there's just not much to it. Convection's falling apart. But we'll just have to keep watching it as it moves off further to the west. Well, let's go out to the Atlantic. Okay, now, again, we're not talking about this, right? We're talking about this. This is the one that they have hatched. This obviously looks a whole lot better, but that's mainly it's not very well organized, but it's certainly something. In theory, these could just kind of come together and create one storm, and then you end up with another wave coming off of Africa in the next couple of days. I kind of want to zoom in a little bit closer here and show you some of the visible satellite. Really what's happening is, if anything, there's a little circulation out here on the northeast side of this thing. But I think that needs to be watched. Watch right here at the very end. You see the wind arrows? It's kind of showing some kind of rotation right in here. And then certainly not much going on with that secondary wave right there. But anyways, the modeling picking up on it. So let's talk models. Kind of big picture here. This is this Sunday. So bottom line, guys, no worries for the upcoming weekend, okay? We're looking good as far as that goes. Let's go out to the end of next week. I'm going to stop it here around Thursday afternoon. Look what the GFS has. It's got just where the Hurricane Center says that front wave may end up, right? This is the other wave, right? The 10 to 30% wave, not much there. Here's another wave coming off of Africa. All right, that's Thursday, 6 days from today. Now let's go out to the weekend, Labor Day weekend, and look what that did. Yeah, man, the front wave certainly blew up, and possible tropical storm, at least, maybe hurricane in the Western Gulf Labor Day weekend, but far south, down into Mexico. First wave is here. Right? Second wave is here, but not doing much with either. Well, this is the 10-30% wave. This is the one coming off Africa that hasn't come off yet. All right, now let's go over to the European model. This is this Sunday. Looking pretty good. Don't need to move that. No big issues through this upcoming weekend. So great news for whatever you got planned this week as far as tropics, right? Let's go to next Thursday, okay? GFS had something blowing up here. The European sees something. Not a big something, but it's got something in kind of the same area. There's the 10 to 30% chance one there. It's definitely developing that. Here's the one that's still over Africa now, but it's developing that one as well. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is the European model. This is the 10 to 30% wave. The GFS did not have that. It's got something, but nothing like this. And this is that secondary wave. Watch this one. That one's the one that we need to watch. The GFS keeps something here, but it recurves it out. See that big ridge up to the north? That's a big area of high pressure. The last couple frames make this look like it wants to curve. But we're just going to have to watch it, right? This is only going out through a week and about 10 days or so. All right, and you don't really want to buy into a model past that time anyways. This is just kind of ideas, right? So now let's go over to, I'm going to take you to just the regular models, all right? So let's go look at Weatherbell's models. So here's what you got here. All right, so this is the GFS model. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just make it nice and big for you so you get an idea of it. The GFS model, and I mean, this is the main run of the model. And let's run it out to, well, yeah, this weekend's fine. Let's go out until, see that right there? That's, well, this is a week from today, right about now. See over here in the lower left side here? You got a low that has developed. Now it's kind of skirting over the Yucatan. You've got this second low. See it right here? This is the 10 to 30% one. And then you've got the third one come off of Africa. Pretty similar, right? Now look at that. It takes that storm towards Brownsville, perhaps south of Brownsville, by the end of next weekend. This is Sunday night of Labor Day weekend. And you see this low is well north of Puerto Rico. Look at that thing. Gets picked up, gets taken out. The secondary one back over here gets picked up, taken out. Oh, that would be great news, right? And then we'll have to watch and see, this is a little in-home development here east of Florida. But then you have to watch and see what happens here in the Bay of Campeche. This is just way out. Don't buy this. This is the GFS model this far out. But this trend in here, where it brings it up, tries to curve it to the north, keep an eye on that. This is the European version of that, okay? So let's go out to the end of next week. Do you see anything in the Gulf of Mexico? There's not much there. It's got some lower pressures here, but not much. But look at this one. Look at the 10 to 30% one, right? North of Puerto Rico, but it's pretty close to Puerto Rico. Look at that. That's as far out as the model goes right now. This is further south than what the GFS has. That is a big ridge over top of it, and it might be tough to get that ridge to break down to get this thing to curve up. It might shoot this thing further off towards the west. So that, I think, is something we need to watch. This is Monday morning of Labor Day. All right, that's Labor Day morning. We'll see if it happens, okay? We'll see if it happens. The Hurricane Center right now says the next 5 days, that thing has a 30% chance of developing. What do the ensembles say? GFS ensembles. All over the place, all over the place. Look, here's the main run that it was showing, right? You see that there? That's there northeast of the windwards, and you can see the curve. Look at all the models here that the GF, the runs, the ensembles that see it east of Florida and recurving, right? Great trend. Let's look at the European. What's the European see? Okay, here it comes. Let's go out to the second. This is Labor Day weekend, Saturday morning, right there. It's got a whole bunch in here, right? This is a little bit further to the south, and that's as far out as it's going to let me go. It's seeing one here, one here, one here, and these all wouldn't occur at the same time. Again, this is just multiple runs of the model, but this tells me that it is seeing a little bit of weakness in that ridge there, not a lot. Most of them think it's going to be down here. I'd like to see more of them popping up here to kind of give it more of a trend to move off towards the north. So that's it, guys. Not a whole lot after that to really get going, because now we're just talking models out so far in advance and it's too far. But the bottom line is, like, look, good through the upcoming weekend, this weekend. By the end, well, Wednesday, Thursday-ish, we could get a named storm. And then by that time, we're at the end of August. And so we've gone 55 days without a system. We may end up setting some records here. I think 61 is the record without having a named storm. So we're going to get close to that, number one. And I don't think we can have a hurricane through the end of the month. So August is going to probably go, well, the whole season, right? We have not had a hurricane for the whole season leading up to now. So for all the forecast things being high, it's been relatively slow so far. And it looks like August is going to continue that way. But obviously, looking at the models and what we've been showing you here, you get the idea. Things are going to heat up just a little bit. So don't let your guard down. Stay informed. Don't worry about anything yet. We're all good, but stay prepared. Have a good weekend, guys. Oh, weekend rain. Again, Morning rain along the coast Saturday, inland in the afternoon. Sunday, it's the opposite. A few pop-up showers around 1 or 2 o'clock along the coast, but better rain chances inland Sunday, then coming back towards the coast.